Hi, this is Anna, and welcome back to my channel, Real Raw Rentals. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the repairs and replacements that I needed to do on my third rental property before placing a tenant in the property. So when I originally went under contract on it, I got a few estimates. The biggest estimate was for the overall improvements and rehabs. The contractor was able to go out to the property and, with the help of my real estate agent, create a detailed list of what needed to be done. So I will just scroll through this. It's a lot, so if you want to pause and read through all of the items specifically, you're welcome to do that. The number at the end of each item is that specific item's cost, including labor. So clearly there's a lot going on. The two biggest items are to remove and replace all of the flooring and to repaint all of the walls, which were not in good condition. So overall, the contractor had sent a previous estimate, and my real estate agent and I asked him to add these items. And so with those items included, the total estimate was $18,590. And as it shows right here, the prices include labor, material, and equipment, and a 50% deposit is required to start the project. 50% of $18,590 is $9,295. So that is what I sent to the contractor to start the project. Now I do have before and after photos of the project, but I'm going to save those to the end. Right now I will go to the invoice that I got once the contractor was completely done with the project, which took about a month and a half. So this looks very similar to the original estimate. This shows the $9,295 that I owed from all of the work discussed in the original estimate. And then below is all the additional work that the contractor ended up having to do once he was in the home and got a better sense of what all of the problems were. So again, I'll scroll down and you're welcome to pause whenever you want. In this case, the biggest item by far that was added was $1,862 for my appliances, which were a new dishwasher, a new fridge, and a new washer and dryer. Now this almost $2,000 worth of appliances is something that I didn't account for in my estimates. I knew I had to replace those and just somehow missed them when I was estimating how much everything would cost. So that was a big mistake on my part. Other than that, the biggest item that was added is repainting all of the kitchen cabinets. Once you see the photos of the end product, I think you'll agree that that was money well spent. So if we continue down, the original balance that I owed was $9,295. And then the additional labor and materials from all of the added items came out to be $5,959. So the second check that I sent to my contractor was equal to $15,254. Now, in addition to all of the work my contractor did, I also had to have yard work done to take care of plants and trees that were overgrown and potentially dangerous to a tenant. So all of this is listed, broken out by how much it costs, and the total ended up being $750. Again, because I am new to this $750 was not something that I anticipated having to pay for, but now I have a better sense of what I need to do going forward, and so I'm confident I won't underestimate all of the work I have to do on following projects. And lastly, I needed to replace the HVAC system. So here is the proposal that I got from the company that replaced the HVAC system. You can see they gave two different options, with the upper option being less expensive. And then they also broke it out into different options. So I could do a monthly payment of $133.88. Or if I was paying with a credit card, I could pay $7,650. Alternatively, if I paid with cash or a check, this decreased the cost to $7,267.50. Similarly, I had the same options for the more expensive HVAC system. So after talking with this company, I ended up going with the first option. The only reason I did that is because of how much money I had already spent on the project and that I didn't want to spend any more. That being said, I think the second option was a better product, and going forward, I definitely want to make sure that I budget enough to purchase the product that will last longer and be more efficient. The other thing that was surprising to me is that when I originally got an estimate, the price was about $5,000. However, because of all the shipping and inventory issues that a lot of companies have been having, the price went up significantly. And actually, between getting this estimate and installing the HVAC system, this price went up $500 again. And so I ended up paying $7,767.50. And again, you're welcome to pause at any time if you want to see any of this other information that's on this estimate. And now let's go over to look at the before and after photos. So starting with the before photos, you can see that everything is just very outdated. It's also hard to tell in these photos how bad the ceiling, walls, and floors are. Here's a better example of what's happening with a lot of the walls. And if we continue going forward, there's just a lot of things that need to be updated. Here's a photo of the main living room. And lastly, I wanted to end on this photo of the kitchen because I think the work that the contractor did on the kitchen made the biggest difference. So here you can see it just looks pretty crowded and definitely dated. And so the transformation of the kitchen I think is pretty amazing. Now let's go over to after photos. So this is the after photo of the main living area that we saw a photo of previously. This is a photo from the kitchen looking into where the tenant would most likely put their dining room table. This is a pantry that was added, the interior of the pantry, and there are just a lot more photos of all of the repairs. Overall, the goal was just to make the whole place look a little brighter and overall more modern. Some of these photos show a lot of dirt and dust, but we had a cleaner come through and take care of all of that. Here are the new washer and dryers. And now here's the beginning of the photos of the kitchen. So this shows the kitchen with the rest of the house basically done. This is what it looks like straight on, so it already is looking a lot better. But then we added the refrigerator, which looks nice, and we started painting the cabinets white. So here's the final photo of the kitchen, which looks so much better than how it had been looking. Try zooming in a bit. So it's not the best quality photo, but it's a huge difference and it makes the kitchen look a lot bigger and a lot more modern. Now all of this went really well, and after it was completed, the HVAC company came to replace the HVAC system. Now this is one of the biggest things I did wrong, is I waited till the end for the HVAC company to come and replace everything. And so they didn't come until after everything had been nice and clean, and things didn't go very well when they came. There were a number of issues that happened sometime in between when the contractor was done working on the property and when the HVAC people finished their work. The first was at this access point into the attic. The HVAC company cut into the access and did not leave it looking nice at all. So when I talked with the HVAC company, they said the reason for this was because when they originally made an estimate, they had told my realtor that the access would have to be enlarged. My realtor did tell me this back in March, and I didn't have a good system of keeping track of everything, and so that slipped through the cracks. So that was definitely my fault, and one of the many learning lessons I learned during this project in terms of being able to keep track of all the different things that need to be happening and when. The second issue was there were these two stains that occurred in the master bedroom after they were there. I know that those stains were not there when my contractor finished because I have photos and videos of what it looked like beforehand. However, these stains happened in a totally different part of the roof than where the workers who were replacing the HVAC system would have been. And so while technically it could have been them, based off of the location, it would have been very strange for the HVAC people to be there. Additionally, they double-checked to make sure nothing in the HVAC system was leaking. They found that none of the ducts or anything else had any moisture. So again, they argued that this was not their fault. And the last thing, and probably most odd thing, was this massive crack in the hallway bathroom. Now, it's a little hard to tell from this photo what exactly is happening. My contractor was arguing that this piece of sheetrock or drywall had cracked, as it kind of looks like, especially right here, and that must have happened from the HVAC workers stepping through the ceiling on accident. But of course, when the HVAC people went back out to double check this damage, they say that they did not step through the roof, and instead it was the piece of tape had become delaminated. And again, this was in a location where it would have been very unusual for the HVAC contractors to be. And so again, this is one more thing where I was not sure who was at fault. Of course, my contractor was saying nothing was his fault, while the HVAC company was saying none of it was their fault. So what I ended up doing was getting a quote from my contractor to fix it and telling him that I would work with the HVAC company to be reimbursed for all of the repairs that my contractor did. However, when I got his estimate, it was only for $500, which I know $500 is a lot of money. However, one of these three issues was my fault, so I would have to pay it either way. And with the other two issues, I really don't know who was at fault. And to me, it felt worth it just paying for it out of pocket versus having to mediate a fight between the contractor and the HVAC company to figure out who was ultimately at fault. So the good news is all of this is 100% done now. The tenant is in the property, and so far things are going well, knock on wood. The next video I'm making will be my financial update for August of 2021, but make sure to look out for the video after that, because in that video, I will specifically delve more into the numbers in terms of how much I paid for the property, how much I paid for the rehab, and how much it's currently being rented for, to get a better sense of whether or not this property will be profitable and by how much. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it below and subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this.